A boy is playing a video game live. He shouts. He cleared it. Yeah, he cleared it. He has finally cleared this damn game. Comments pop up. A person named Shindong writes, "Whoa, he's crazy. He cleared it." Another comment says, "The world's first." Another congratulates him. The game that boasted an almost impossible difficulty, Empire Defense, and now 10 years after its release, someone has finally succeeded in clearing it. That's right, that person is him. He rolls his chair back and says, "Told them all, didn't I?" He is a game streamer. He speaks into the mic. No matter how difficult a game may be, it exists to be cleared, and a streamer who plays only the most difficult games to boot, even his id is classic. Nerd lol. He says, "Goodness Fox, thank you for the 300 donation. No, it was all thanks to all of you guys." He laughs and says, "They really worked hard." He continues, "I was the first person to clear this absurdly difficult game that no one else could since its release 10 years ago. To be honest, my mechanics are a little. No, they're epic. There's no better achievement for a gamer." He notices something and says, "But if I had one regret," one person, Shanghai, comments, "It's so sad that the Saintess died in the final battle. For an R-rank character, she carried a lot." He remains silent. He doesn't know if it was because the viewers got attached to the characters during the time he played, but they had hoped that all of his characters would live through the final battle. However, in the end, apart from the main character, Lucas, everyone died. He thinks, "Well, my goal wasn't to have all my characters live, but to reach the end with the final boss. At the lake princess who can't sleep." The game was over. However, a system window notify us last stage clear. Stage 'em up Lucas, Asura held difficulty, and Ironman mode clear, world ranking first player. Name classic nerd. Lucas remained standing in that position, in front of the boss monster he had slain. Atop the mountain of allied and enemy corpses, Lucas remained standing in that position. He remained silent. Why would that be? Even though he was just a character in a game, his back seemed a little sad. He thinks something feels off. A person comments, "Shouldn't the developer give him a prize or something?" He says, "Why would they suddenly give me a prize?" Lise comments, "They got slammed for this game being hard as hell, yet you proved that it can be beaten. So you deserve something." He wonders what they are talking about. He says, "Come on now, why would they give me a reward? I don't need it. Haha. As long as I had fun with all of you guys, that's enough for me." A person comments, "Lol, look at the greed in his eyes." Another comment, "He bets he'll still joyously take the prize if they give him something." Another one comments, "Two can tell you on it, man." He shakes his head and says, "That ain't it." He thinks, disappeared long ago. He hasn't made a sequel in 10 years. There's no way he could be reached. A system window notifies Director Mer. Hello, Mer Classic Nerd. He is the director of Empire Defense. He notices the notification and becomes shocked. He remains speechless. The system notifies. "First, I'd like to thank you. I had given up, thinking that no one could succeed." He is speechless. He thinks, is he actually for real? The system notifies, "But seeing how you succeeded, I was really relieved. Thank you once again." He hesitates and says, "No, there is no need to thank me." The system notifies, "I'm glad that we still have hope remaining." He questions, "Hope? Is he making Empire Defense 2 or something?" The system responds, "You have proven your ability and your worth. Please come here and help us." He questions, "Ability, worth." He thinks, is he just an attention seeker? There's no way the game creator would be in my stream. I should just kick him. He questions, "Director, or should I say self-proclaimed director?" Lol, his vision blurs and he says, "So what he's saying right now is," he questions, "What's happening? Did I game too long?" Well, he is sure his viewers will call for help if he faints or something. The system thanks him for playing Empire Defense. The scene shifts. A steroid with glowing light hits the ground. He is shocked and finds himself somewhere unfamiliar, wearing strange clothes. He thinks, what was that sound? He sees a stone falling toward him. Terrified, he shouts, "What the hell is that?" He crouches down, breathing heavily. He coughs and thinks, is this the smell of gunpowder? Shocked, he sees two soldiers firing a bomb. He watches the scene in horror. He is dazed. Suddenly, a bomb explodes near him. He becomes angry and shouts, "Hell, knock it off already." He becomes vigilant. He sees red flags with a symbol on them. There are many soldiers. He thinks, what is all this? He is surrounded by many soldiers. One soldier shouts, block. Another shouts, stop them from getting up. He remains speechless. He looks toward the scene and thinks, what in the world is going on here? Some soldiers on the castle roof shoot toward enemies, while others fight with swords. Nerd thinks, are they in the middle of a war? A soldier gasps and looks toward Nerd. He runs toward him and shouts, Your Imperial Highness. He is shocked. He sees an angry person shouting, Is he okay, sir? He becomes terrified and thinks, Is he an enemy soldier? He falls back and shouts in horror, Don't come close to me. The soldier is shocked. He cries heavily and begs him. The soldier trembles in fear. Surprising Nerd, a sword falls to the ground, and the soldier bows down, apologizing to him. Nerd is speechless. The soldier cries heavily and pleads for mercy. Nerd thinks, what's wrong with this old man? He stands up and says, Hey, mister, first calm down, please. Suddenly, a green substance moves toward him, terrifying him. An explosion occurs, sending Nerd flying backward. He hits the ground heavily. He breathes heavily and thinks, what the? Was that a bomb? He sees green flames in front of him. He questions, what's going on? A soldier shouts, Cover here. The enemy's charging in. Nerd is surprised. Soldiers run toward the edge of the roof and shout, Stop them so they can't climb up. One soldier is killed by the enemy. Nerd watches in shock. A soldier is lifted into the air by a sharp tentacle that pierces him. Another soldier's hand is cut off. Nerd stares at the scene in front of him. He sees a severed hand covered in blood lying before him. The tentacle is killing soldiers one by one. Mercilessly, he thinks, what in the world is lurking beyond that wall? Then he sees it. A giant spider stands in front of him. Its eyes glow red. A green substance drips from its mouth. Nerd covers his ears and thinks, a spider. Some soldiers charge toward the spider and shout, The assailants are here. Immobilize it. The spider kills them instantly. Nerd thinks, my body won't move. He trembles in fear. He says, Is this a dream or am I hallucinating? The spider approaches him. He mutters, This situation is unbelievable. Then he thinks, Don't with me. The spider is about to kill him. He thinks, Dying like this is bullshit. Suddenly, someone with golden hair appears. The figure speaks, Your Highness, to deny reality. He unsheathes a golden, glowing sword and slices the spider in half. He stands in front of Nerd, looking at him. He smiles and says, Isn't that a bit of a cliché reaction? Nerd gasps in surprise. A young boy kneels down before him. Looking shocked, he says, Your Highness, why do you look like this? Are you hurt anywhere? Nerd stares at his face. He recognizes him. He remembers him as a game character. He points at him. He asks Lucas. Lucas is surprised and says he knew it. He wipes his tears and says, So you hurt your head? He holds Nerd by the arms and says, But I'm really happy. You finally called me by my name. Despite serving as your guard my entire life, you could never once remember my name. This shocks Nerd. He thinks, It's the real Lucas. Wait, no, does that mean? Could it be that this is? He looks toward the battlefield. Explosions are everywhere. Everything is destroyed. He is inside Empire defense. He bites his lip and thinks, I'm Ed. This is the game with the hardest difficulty. The game he had just beaten before he got here. Empire defense, this is a game. A huge number of giant spiders are swarming the battlefield. He needs to slaughter them endlessly. Explosions shake the battlefield. The endless hordes of monsters keep rushing in. He opens his mouth in horror. It's a difficult defense game. He asks why. Green explosive substance explode everything in its way. Nerd thinks, why the hell am I inside the game? His Imperial Highness. He looked toward Lucas and called his name. Lucas placed his hands on his shoulder. He said, The enemy that is encroaching us right now is the Black Spider Army. This forward operating base might be on the verge of collapse, but these spiders aren't active at sundown, and the sun will set in 30 minutes. Therefore, he unshielded his sword. Lucas stand in front of Nerd to protect him from Spider's attack. Lucas shout, Until then, please do whatever it takes to hold on. His Highness. Nerd thinks, why is he trying to protect him? And what were they calling him? His Imperial Highness. Who is he right now? Lucas shielding his sword, while on other hand, all soldiers helping each other. One soldier shout. He's still breathing, other soldier shouts. Bring a stretcher over here. Lucas sighs and his head on his head and said, it's finally sundown. The Black Spider Army has started to fall back. He breathed heavily and called him as His Highness. Nerd was standing there speechless and looking around. He called Lucas. He immediately reply in, yes, His Highness. He asked, when and where is he? Lucas reply, the last day of February of the 649th year on the imperial calendar. This is a forward operating base of Crossroad, a fortress city. Nerd grind his teeth and said, then tomorrow must be the first day of March of the year 6049. Lucas agreed. The March 1st of the 6049th year on the imperial calendar, monster forward operating base. It is an extremely familiar situation at an extremely familiar place. Nerd become angry and bite his lips. Of course it was, since during the half year I spent playing Empire Defense. It was in the same location and time of the tutorial that I played hundreds of times, and he is Ash. Nerd shouts that his name, it's Ash. Ash von Heider Everblack means born hater. This makes Nerd extremely angry. He places his hands over his head. Lucas hesitantly said, that is correct, His Highness. Nerd questioned why. He thinks, why'd it have to be this bastard? The Empire's crazed psycho third prince, the absolute worst commander who caused the majority of the soldiers in the fortress city to die, and the character that met the worst end in the tutorial. He is Ash von Heider Everblack. This produces chills in his spine. He thinks, why did it have to be him? Fuck in commander-exclusive dormitory. Nerd looking himself into mirror and shouts, Ash, he stupid idiot. He should have just quietly holed himself in the fortress city. Why did he has to fucking come out? He sighs and said, he is going to go insane. Classic defense game. Defend the Empire. The reason that this game is known for its nightmarish difficulty is the highest difficulty rating of Val, and the ramen mode which forcibly saves your progress. It's because of the difficulty dubbed Ramen Hell, which combines the two, and he is the only person who has cleared that Iron Hell mode. Regardless of what point in the game he is dropped into, he is confident in his skills to find a way out of it, except for this tutorial section. He shouts, system window. He thinks this stage is impossible to clear. The tutorial was designed so that he would fail no matter what, because the story starts once Lucas escapes the monster invasion alone, in this game which lasts for 3 years. The Black Spider Army are monsters he can start hunting once he reach halfway into year 2. He thinks, how the hell is he supposed to beat hundreds of those when he has just started the game? No, focus, classic nerd. This is a game that he has cleared before. If he put together his knowledge and experience, he should definitely be able to find a solution. There's none. He awkwardly laughed and said, fuck. He is super fucked. No, he shouts, what the hell's with these spiders levels, level 55, level 60. And there are over 1,000 of them. What the fuck, he said. Plus, the castle wall's durability is at rock bottom, and the only thing that's usable is this mana cannon. 50, what does he want to do? He thinks, their odds of winning are too low like this. He has to find a method that has a higher chance of success. Calm down, let's calm down. If he plays the game on Ironman mode, it becomes impossible to just save and load the game, so the moment he mess up, the entire game gets ruined. Because of that, it's important to find the optimal action to take for every second. Since he has been playing this game for the past half year, he knew something, that there's a move to make in every situation, and that there's a way to survive it. Something with even a slightly higher chance of survival. Something that's even just a bit more certain. He paused before touched the screen. He was stunned to see something on system window, and thinks he look for it. He shouts, Lucas, he. Lucas reply in shock, yes, His Highness, he is over here. What is it? Quickly gather the party under his direct control. Lucas remains speechless and then reply, by party does he mean his guards? He has never summoned them before. Why is he so suddenly? Nerd reply, stop talking back and just quickly call them. He pointed toward Lucas and said with a smile, he has thought of a way to overcome this situation. He leaned back to wall and said, all right, so is everyone here? There are only 4 peoples. He crosses his arms and thinks they're familiar faces. He looked toward a girl and thinks, Lily, a man with armor who grind his teeth. He thinks him as Ken, and a boy that down his head as Demian. Well, they should be familiar faces. He has seen events where they died countless times, but anyways, he questioned, why is he curled up into a ball? Lily notices him. He was crying. She said, he's like that because he lost a comrade today. Please understand. He thinks, now that he think about it. He was like that during the game's tutorial too. Since he was inflicted with an abnormal status condition from the start, he was the first to die. He remembered that he couldn't use him even though he was the healer, the most important role, he said. Well, first, he'll use this time right now to explain to all of them what their roles are tomorrow. First, she reply, yes, His Imperial Highness. Lily is a magician capable of fire-type attacks. She is this party's main D-piece, capable of landing one powerful spell after another, he said. She will be their shield, block the spider's attacks as their main tank. She was shocked and said, but His Imperial Highness, she is a magician. He said, as for him, Ken, he is a shield knight capable of pulling an aggro in the forefront. He uses an AO taunt to pull in their attention and takes their attacks with his body. He's a tank. So he will covertly infiltrate to the center of their formation and cause a disturbance. Ken questions infiltrate. Disturbance. Next, Demian. As he said previously, he is a healer, an absolutely necessary class for the game. From this point on, he will become this party's sniper. He'll has to snipe the most important targets. Demian remains speechless. Lastly, Lucas. He will command the remaining soldiers and maintain the front line. He thinks, what? Why? Say something, kids. Ken grind his teeth and hit his fist hardly on the wall. And shout, damn it, he call that shit a plan? Is he saying all of that seriously, His Imperial Highness? He has pulled all of them into a dangerous situation from an erroneous command, and he is saying that shit seriously. Nerd terrified and thinks, but that's not him. It's that ash bastard. Yeah, it might sound insane, but this is a stage that's impossible to clear by conventional methods. And that means there's no other way to clear it than being insane, right? So Ken, he can't back down here. His eyes turned red and he darkly said, to the Emperor's son and the supreme commanding officer of this entire place, are they showing insubordination? All of them get terrified. This makes Ken to shiver in horror. He hesitated and said, His Highness. He was just, nerd thinks, that's right, Ken. The person in front of him is that crazed psycho. Keck, in the end, if he lose the initiative, it'll be over, since his plan is a nonsensical, reckless act. Nerd unsheathed his sword and said, he need to make them follow him without talking back. He hit Lily's shoulder. This makes all of them shock. But nothing happened to her. Nerd smiles and said, but all of them have the ability to fulfill their missions. No. Since he ended up entering the body of a psycho, he decided to act more like one. Nerd said, crazy bastard, Ken thinks. The prince is definitely a crazy bastard. Does not he know how valuable a magician is? How are they supposed to go into battle with this guy leading them? He unshielded a fire sword and placed the sword on chest of Lily. Everyone shocked. Nerd smiles and said, yep, this is it. He doesn't know if the dev put it in as a joke or not. But all the tutorial characters have a hidden trait, special traits that completely contradict their roles. Nerd said to Lily, she was cut by a blade when she was a kid, right? When the goblin horde invaded her village. After that incident, she gained the trait Fire Skin. Hearing this, Lily begins to cry, the system window notified. Fire Skin, a trait created by extreme fear toward sharp weapons. He is able to dodge physical attacks by changing your body into fire. Every dodge consumes EP. As long as she has sufficient mana, she can dodge any physical attacks. Nerd asks, is he wrong? She remains silent with filled eyes. A tank trait on the main damage dealer. There is no way to properly utilize it in-game, but this is reality. He is planning on utilizing this trait to the max. An impossible to clear stage. Nerd smiled and said then he has no choice but to use cheats, lol. Nerd unshielded his sword and said he said he's son of a bitch that threw him in here. I will clear this shitty-ass game. And when he does, he is going to grab him by his collar and bitch slap him around. Sword touched the lily cloth. He said sorry for using a bit of a rough method to prove it. Lily hold the stick and hesitantly and said, no, it's okay, His Highness, but how did he know this? Then Nerd replied, that's not what's important right now. Next is, Nerd holds his dagger and smiles like a evil and call out Ken. This produces chills in his spine and he reply yes. He used to be a pretty thief when he was a kid. He is from the slums, with many mouths to feed. He bet it was rough becoming a knight. This surprises Ken. Ken walked few steps away from him. He questioned, how does he know that? Nerd Smullen holds his sword in his hand and said like he said how he know it is not important. What's important is what he can do with it. The system window appears and notified. Survival method of a pretty thief. Habits from his time as a pretty thief. He is able to decrease his presence in the face of danger and avoid attention. It consumes a lot of FP per use. Nerd further explain, he can be stealthy anytime he want, right? He can hide while avoiding attention. He show him his dagger and smile like a evil, which makes Ken terrified. He questions, answer him, or does he need to make another example? Ken immediately answer, no sir, he is right, Nerd said. All right, so he should be able to fulfill his order too then. He placed his dagger on table and said, and finally Demian, he moved forward and thinks, the most important person in this plan is Demian. He crouched down and smilingly said, he has extremely good eyes, doesn't he? That's why he was able to vividly see the death of his friend. Demian remained silent for a moment and said, he was his hometown friend. They were from the same orphanage, in the middle of battle. He sacrificed himself for him. His tears streamed down from his face, and he questioned, why did he bring them here, His Highness, why? Nerd remains speechless. Demian asked, what grand goal did he have? Or are there cheap lives, nothing more than entertainment for him? Please give him back his van. Please give him back his friend. He cried down heavily. Nerd places his hands on Demian's shoulders and said, he can blame him, Demian, if he need to. He can even despise him, but his friend Van threw away his life to save theirs. Is he going to just sit here and wait for death? Just because he is at death's doors because of a trash commander? Is he really going to give up on the life that his friend sacrificed himself for? He need to resist with all he got and avenge him. He placed his one hand on chest and said, kill the spiders, make it out of here alive, and teach him a lesson. He said, Demian, does he want to kill those damn spiders? Demian answer and ask, Nerd, does he want to kill him? Demian remained silent and said, yes, this surprises everyone. Nerd smiled and said, fine. He promised if they make it out of here alive, he will has his be the one to take his life. Whenever that may be, Lucas shout in disapproval. But Nerd stops him by signal of his hand. He said, if the plan fails, they are all bound to die anyway. If that happens, he will let him be the one to take his life. He promised this on the honor of the imperial family. Just one day is fine, so please follow his orders. Demian looking toward him silently. Sometimes, it's necessary to use Hattard as fuel. Even if that is hatred toward him, Nerd said, he won't make excuses. Because of his critical failure in judgment, their army is near wiped out. But if they follow his plan, they will able to push away those spiders. It may be slim, but they do have a chance at victory. So just once believe and follow him. Finally his hand was complete. He doesn't know this hand will be a royal straight, a flush or just shit. But he has no choice but to go all in. Soldiers shout. The black spider army is headed toward them. The monsters are marching in. On soldier ask, will he really be okay? His Highness, Nerd reply coldly. Don't worry and do as he told them to. They immediately comply. The plan is simple, while the party members buy time. They will find the queen giving them orders. They will blow up queen's head with his mana cannon by taking off the restraint. They have forcefully amplified its magic power. This should deal a blow even to the queen. The problem is the queen's location. They need to find the queen so far away, they can't see it with the naked eye. Is this actually possible? He smiled like a evil and said, a map creation, blue light surrounds him, and start to cover the castle and surroundings and forest. System window appears, ash skill. Map creation, the ability that allows one to see the whole area in the fore of a mini map. When he saw these crap's stats for the first time, he was a bit shocked. But it's a relief that at least this skill remained. He thinks, let's see where are they hiding? If he can just find the boss mark. He shocked and questioned what? The boss monster's mark isn't here. The purpose of this mission in the enemy's queen isn't on the map. Ken standing in front of gate and reminds what Nerd said to him a few minutes earlier. Nerd said, that take it. He has collected all the stamina potions left in the stronghold. He has to go outside and draw their attention. Does he think he can do that? Ken was standing there in tension. Lily was standing alone, trembling in fear. She reminds the words of Nerd, who said, "He will leave a painful role for her as well." In the instance that the spiders manage to get into even in the artillery unit, he expect her to use her fire skin to block the entrance. She comforts herself and said, "She can do it." Lucas shout, "Get into formation." All soldiers prepare themselves. They ready their cannons, waiting for Lucas' signal. Lucas unshield his sword and shout. They must endure it. They're going to buy some time until His Highness defeats the Queen. He turned to Nerd and said, "That dignified expression surely means that." He raised his sword and shout, "His Highness has finished all preparations." On the other hand, Nerd was terrified and thinks, "Hold on, guys. He is not ready." Lucas shout, "Fire." All his army fire their weapons toward spiders and destroy many of them. Lucas turns toward Nerd and show him thumb up expression. Nerd looking toward him and speechless. He thinks, "All right, then, let's stay calm. In the first place, the goal of the tutorial isn't to kill the boss monster. The boss monster not appearing on the map isn't anything surprising. It will probably appear when there's a full-scale attack. They have a secure rear. The guards are prepared just in case anything happens. That's the only Olus the Queen can be." Nerd notices system window which shows enemies was coming toward them. He shouts to Demian and pointed toward mountains and shout, "Over there." Does he see it? Demian reply, "Yes, he sees spiders sitting around, not doing anything." This annoy Nerd, who thinks he thought it would be a possibility, but could it be? He turned around and questioned, "The Queen should be among them. Can he find her?" Demian focuses his gaze and saw a monster-like creature and said, "Is he talking about the monster that has the lower body of a spider and upper body of a human?" Nerd smiles and thinks he's found it. Said, "That's precisely it." Demian reply, "But isn't it a bit scary looking?" He reply, "No need to be scared. It's going to get hit by a cannon soon and die. Turn the artillery unit. Face it southwest." Demian and he shall precisely take aim. A soldier shout. Mana charging is complete. They can shoot on command. Nerd looked toward Demian, pointed toward cannon and call him, said, "Grab it." Demian hesitantly grab it and said, His Highness, he doesn't has confidence. He has never done this kind of thing before, so to have him do this so suddenly." Nerd call his name and place his hand on his shoulder and said, "He can miss. He will take full responsibility. Even if he fail and completely mess everything up, it's okay. He will take full responsibility. All consequences are the commander's responsibility. The soldiers only do what is commanded of them. All he has to do is pull the trigger, that's it. He is avenging Van." Demian repeat his words and activate his 1,000 miles eye skill. He pull the trigger with full power. Machine of cannons start to fire up. Nerd said, "That's it, Demian." He shout, "Beat them to pulp." Cannonball fired with full power. Nerd shouts, "Get hit." A big explosion occur at a distance. Nerd call his scout, who sees explosion area by telescope. Scout shout, "It's hit the target. It accurately hit the middle of monsters." Hearing this, everyone cheers for victory. One scout crosses arm around Demian's neck and happily said, "This friend's pretty impressive. He's sure that was his first time." Demian reply, "He just did as instructed." The moment he got a hold of the trigger, his body started moving on its own. Nerd looked toward them and smiled while thinking, what is he talking about, Demian? It's all thanks to his trait, an absolute broken trait, the ability to always hit his target. In the game, he was a character that couldn't hold the actual weapon. He laughs and thinks, but here all he had to do was just grab a hold of it. They have taken the full force of his attack, as expected he is. Suddenly he was shocked to see explosions in front of him and thinks, what's this? Why are they still moving? Scout horrified and call out, "Nerd." Said, "They are moving." He turned around and saw the telescope. Scout shouts, "Over there a swarm of spiders, they are moving." Nerd see by telescope, saw monster spider alive, a square formation. Queen spider growls, which flinches Nerd, he shouts, "Where are they all suddenly heading off to?" The spiders are on the move. Scout's question, did they not hit the queen? Why is it perfectly fine? Nerd in horror said, "No way." On Scout using telescope and shouts, "It's a disaster. The spiders, they are all swarming towards the artillery unit." Tension rises, he annoyingly said. They has sent out their orders disgustingly fast. Queen. In front of castle, everything was exploding. Inside forest, Ken was breathing heavily. He thinks and curses that he has one potion remaining. He was sitting behind tree. He thinks, should he just run away? Ken surprised and shout, what? He stand and peek from back of tree. He remains speechless to see the scene in front of him. He kneeled down, Demian uses his skill and said, target hit. They hit the queen dead on. Nerd breathing heavily and thinks, the spiders are still moving. The queen is still alive. Are they any chance lacking in damage? The original queen of the Black Spider Army would have died from 1 to 2 hits from the attract artifact. After all, the queen isn't that strong compared to combat-type mobs. But the queen of this tutorial stage, he has no information on her. He thinks, what if her stats are different? What if she has a special gimmick? Or what if it doesn't allow her to be killed? Then what should he, soldier, shout? His Imperial Highness, dutifully blasting the mana core. It's reaching its limit. There is also a lot of damage inflicted on the cannon. They won't be able to shoot as much as they predicted. Nerd said, they're talking too much. So how many more times can they shoot? There were a total of 5. Since they have shot 2, there are 3 shots remaining. Hearing 3 shots make Nerd shocked. He thinks 3 shots. They have no choice but to kill that Spider Queen within those 3 shots. Moreover, Demain's eyes. It seems that Thousand Miles' eyes skill has side effects a maximum of 3 shots. Will he be able to last until then? Fortunately, the center castle walls are doing a good job enduring. A demolisher is coming. Nerd, shocked to see Queen Spider, he thinks. A demolisher is trying to break through. There wasn't anything like this in the game, Nerd shouts. Defend, focus all of their firepower onto the demolisher. Cannon fire toward Queen Spider. He thinks, no, the castle walls will collapse. Queen Spider destroyed the walls of castle and his all army of spiders move inside. This terrified Nerd, Lucas shouts, everybody raise your weapons. They are going down to the first floor. Nerd shout, pull themselves together. The ones down there will do the defending for them. They need to keep shooting the queen. Before those bastards reach the artillery unit, they must kill Queen. Shooting preparations are complete. Nerd signal to Demian to fire, who uses his kill and shoot toward them. Soldiers shout, confirmed hit on the Black Spider Queen. But she is still alive. Nerd shouts in anger, reload the next shot immediately. Lucas was fighting with spiders and cutting down them one by one with his sword. He shout, protect the artillery unit. They must protect the Imperial Prince. Nerd was looking toward the battleground from above. The spiders was large in amount. On the other hand, human soldiers were very few. Spiders kill them one by one. Casualties keep increasing. He didn't know, when he was playing this as a game, that this place is where humans live. The fact that death isn't simply a number, but is accompanied by these horrifying screams and smells. Status window closed. He thinks at this rate, one soldier shout, everyone stick to the cannon. They need to cool it down first. 5 shots. It will collapse before it's even able to shoot 4. Nerd thinks, what should he do? A method to overcome this situation doesn't come to mind. Ken appeared, curses them and shout that he is right here. Look at him. Nerd was stunned to see him. Ken gulped down last potion and shout, he is Ken, a knight of the Empire. Spiders turn toward him and start to move her toward him. This terrified him. He run backward with spiders running behind him. He shouts, that's right over here. He notices a big stone. He smiles and moved behind stone and said, why don't they try to come and find him? He uses his ability survival method of a petty thief has been activated. Nerd look at status window and worryingly shouts. Ken wait his remaining health. He was surrounded by all spiders and system window notified that his insufficient health. The trait activation has been cancelled. He curses and said, he shouldn't have trusted spiders killed him. This make Nerd horrified. Nerd thinks he can distinctly hear the horrifying sound of tearing flesh even from far away. His incorrect commands took away the precious life of another. Soldier shouts, Ken has moved up the defense line. Advance forward without a step of hesitation. It isn't only Ken. All those who are out there are losing their lives because of his single command. He is killing them all. No, rather than that, he while playing this game. He has always thrown away forces as bait whenever it was needed. This goddamn game was designed that way. System window question. Will he deploy Party 2 on this spot? He click on yes in order to save someone, in order to obtain an item, in order to clear a side quest, in order to accomplish an achievement. Someone needed to die, and he gladly killed them for every wrongdoing he committed. He didn't question it one bit. However, he has realized it now. He placed his trembling hands and said stop. The meaning that were contained in the acts he has committed until now. He shouted in anger. He said stop they monsters. The truth that all death is accompanied by heart-wrenching pain. He shouts stop. He thinks they won't stop. Monsters wouldn't stop because of mere screams. Lucas throws sword that pierces Queen abdomen. Lucas said he dare aim for the prince. He shouts, is he okay, His Highness? Spider growls. Nerd tightened his grip on sword and said, that's right, there is only one method that will make these monsters stop. He cut down one spider in an instant. Killing them before they kill them, soldiers shout, His Highness, the fourth shot has been loaded. However, Demian cannot. Nerd shout, Demian, can he shoot it? Blood flows down from his eyes. He agrees. Again, he shoot cannonball. The fourth shot, ball was about to hit Spider Queen and her army. Cannon hit the spiders. Queen spider scream, impact. It hit the queen's head dead on. However, the goddamn queen is still alive. Nerd look in horror. Soldiers and Demian kneel down due to tiredness. Blisters appear on their hands. Soldier said, their attacks don't work. The cannon is at its limit. If they try to shoot it once more, the cannon itself will explode. He looked toward Nerd and said, it's over now. Anyways, let's just give up. Nerd breathed heavily and thins. Is this the end? The cannon is on the verge of destruction. Their defense live has collapsed. And their shooter can't even open his eyes. Is it over with this? He thinks, is there really no hope remaining? One soldier shouts, no, they have inflicted damage without a doubt. Nerd sharp his gaze. The queen's skin has peeled off. Nerd calls Scout. Despite being in this situation, he was faithful to his role until the end. Scout shouts, if they shoot one more time, they can kill. Nerd was shocked. The explosion hit the roof of castle. Lucas called Nerd. Nerd was falling down. He thinks, it collapsed. The whole world, the hope of clearing all of it. Nerd vision blur. He hears that Lucas calling his name. Suddenly he opens his eyes and saw Lucas protect him by his back hit by a big stone. Nerd call his name. Lucas reply, His Highness, is he hurt anywhere? Nerd shout, that's what he is supposed to say, is he okay? Blood dripped down from his body. He said, His Highness, does he remember? It's matter in the past that's already been 20 years. Nerd thinks he can't remember. As a player of this game who's just possessed this body, he doesn't has any memory of him or his own. Lucas said when His Highness first assigned him as his guard, His Highness told him on that spot. Nerd question, what did he say? He thinks, even if he is unable to become the Emperor, he will become the coolest man in the world. So, as the one who will become his knight, aim to become the world's coolest knight, although it was in the days of when he was a growing child. Lucas said, His Highness' words touched his heart so much that he still bear it with him all the time, even to this day. His Highness, he trusts him. Nerd asked, even in this situation. Lucas said, whenever, wherever, giant stone crushed him down. Nerd crouched down. He thinks, hang in there, Lucas. He is the main character, the savior of this world. He mustn't die in a place like this. For now, he should get a grasp of the situation. Is this place under the artillery unit? How long has he been unconscious? He notices the corpses of soldiers there. He thinks, Demian, and all of the artillerymen, fortunately. It seems that they have avoided sustaining fatal injuries. Though, the same can't be said for the cannon. Come to think of it, how are they all still alive? What about the spiders? Lily called him with full injuries. He was shocked and said, it isn't over yet. She was injured and asked, right? He was shocked and call out her. She stops her and said, she can't hold on much longer. She can block the entrance for now, but soon the monsters will siege here and break through these walls. She shouts, they don't have time. Hurry up. Don't make their deaths worth nothing. He shouts to soldiers, stand, artillerymen, load the last shell. One soldier said, but His Highness, they told him, the cannon has already surpassed its limit. The moment they shoot, the cannon itself will explode. If they don't do anything, we'll die under the legs of spiders. Isn't it better to take the gamble in a situation like this? They have to throw the dice even if it means they die in flames. How will they be able to aim? Scout said, they can't even see outside. There's no way we'll be able to spot the queen. Even the cannon stand is gone. Then hold the cannon with his hands. If they don't have teeth, they have to chew with their gums, Nerd said. There's no need to aim, Damien just needs to shoot. Scout remained silent. Nerd said, load the last shell, that's an order, Scout said. He understood. He doesn't know exactly how clairvoyance works, but as long as Damien shoots, the shot will be corrected. They have no choice but to believe so. Nerd come near to Damien and call his name, he said. This is the last to me, he just need to shoot one more time, just once more. Hearing this, Damien turned his gaze toward him. He can see Nerd with blurry vision, Nerd said. Please push himself one more time, Damien said. His Highness, what meaning is there to all of this? No matter what he does, nothing changes. If he hit it once more, that monster dies. No, that's not what he is talking about. Let's say he pulled that trigger once more, and that the queen spider died, then what changes? No matter how hard he work, how hard he try, the world always takes away from him. Nerd call out his name, Damien said. He want to stop now. He doesn't want to live like this anymore. He want to go to ban. Nerd shout his name. Does he think that this world is unreasonable? Does he think that even if he overcome a great obstacle, living will continue to be hell? Damien question yes. Nerd grab his collar and shout to him. Then stop saying the obvious stuff is dumbus. Then he thinks, if this world has a difficulty level, then it is hell level and it's sage mode where you can't save or load data. It was not a game. Since the beginning, this world has been hell and sage mode. He shouts. It's unreasonable and ridiculous. And nothing goes my way, and that is the life. Who does not know that? In previous story, the sun shines over the earth, and Nerd said to Damien, we are living in devastating scenery. Are you going to quit fighting? So what? You are going to quit and twiddle your thumbs until you get killed. Just because of that? No, we have to keep fighting until the moment we die, Nerd said. He is going to fight if I'm going to struggle and strategize until my last moment. He take out his sword and ask to Damien, if you want to quit and die that bad. Really bad? Nerd pointed toward Damien and he said, stab his neck with this sword right now, but if he is a coward with no courage to do so, then become his trigger. Stop looking for him, dead friend. The only thing he need in order to work is him as his commander. Don't use a trivial reason to live. He is his chess piece, his key. His trigger, that's all he needs to be. He shout, that's all he need from him. Damien, system notified. Ash has unlocked a new skill. Passive skill. The indomitable commander, he said, this is an order, his trigger. He placed his hand on his shoulder and said, blast that monster's face. He immediately comply. Damien said he will follow his command. The last shell is loaded, but there is no way to cool down the barrel at this rate. Nerd said, move, he will hold it. Scout comply and said, it's extremely hot. If he touch it, it will be much worse than an average burn. Nerd reply, it did probably be better getting a burn alive than dying and falling into the flames if hell. Nerd question, is he ready, Damien? He reply, his highness, he can't see. That's okay. He can't feel his hands. That's okay, Nerd said. It's okay, Nerd forcefully with so much pain bring up the hot burning cannon. Scouts shout, help his highness. 5 soldiers stand with him holding the hot cannon, pointed toward Queen Spider. Nerd shout Damien name, who pull the trigger, cannon power up, and shot toward Spider. Hit it. This was an impossible task in the first place. A shot fired an enemy. They can't even see from the bottom of a fallen fort. There's no way the attack would have hit. However, the shell flies directly towards the Queen Spider. It ignores the difference, the elevation. It ignores the distance. It ignores the hundreds of thousands of monsters in its way, just as if it was reenacting a chosen result. It flew to the Queen Spider that was screaming out of anger or fear and landed onto the Queen's head without a single imperfection. The shell cleanly blew off Queen Spider's head. Hang, dude, he is actually insane. How did he beat that? The words didn't leave his mouth to the first message from a viewer he has received since he started streaming. He doesn't know how best to respond. System window notified. He will add him to his favorites. He is gonna stream for us again, right? And then, what did he respond with? Nerd suddenly open his eyes. He thinks, is he alive? He gets up and feel a merge pain in his body. He will be best if he get more rest. His Highness, Nerd wake up on bed. Lily writing something and said, Damien has healed his with healing magic, but since the burn is quite deep, it will take much longer to fully heal. Nerd looked toward Lily, who was sitting on chair and writing something. He called her name. She stops writing and said, he has slept for 4 days. His Highness, she said. She thought he was never going to wake up. After going through all that trouble to defeat the Black Spider army, Nerd looked toward her and remained silent. He said, he survived, she said. It's thanks to His Highness' command. With the last bombardment, the Queen died. The Black Spider army has stopped its activities immediately. They have won their Highness, soldiers cleaning all things. The support army recovered the bodies of their allies and took care of the stopped spiders. They are more or less done with cleaning up. Nerd looked toward window and said he sees. She said, His Highness, they have received severe burns on their hands, arms, shoulder, and neck. If they return with Crossroad, they will have to visit the church. But even after they fully heal, there will be some scars left. Nerd said, well, scars are a far cheaper cost to pay than a life. He asks, Lily, how is she? Her injuries are. He saw her on wheelchair. He was shocked to see her like this. She replies, when she ran out of mana. A cider bastard scratched her back right after the Queen died, so she didn't get attacked further. But maybe because she hurt her waist nerves, she can't move her lower body now. He remains speechless, she said. No need to worry, His Highness, she said. She is thankful for just being alive, sir. The survivors consist of 5 artillery gunners, she said. Lucas, Damien, and His Highness, that is everyone, 9 people. In the last battle, it was a few hundred, but this time it's only 9 people. Shouldn't there have been another way? Shouldn't there have been an unconventional tactic that he couldn't think of? Shouldn't there have been a way to just save even one more person? She places her hand on his arm and said, His Highness, he is not a god. There was no way to save everyone in that situation. His Highness did everything he could. He know. He replies, from the get-go, he is one who dragged the soldiers here. Although it was something Ash had done, not he since. He is in his body. It was something he needed to be responsible for those monsters to move in hordes after this many decades, is something no one thought of. So no one had stopped their Highness campaign, so please don't be so harsh on himself. Lucas shouts His Highness. He run toward Nerd and crying like a child and said, he is so glad he has woken up. Nerd was stunned to see Lucas. Lucas come near to him and shouts with teary eyes, does any part of his body feel weird? He will call Damien over right away, Nerd annoyingly said. No, it's fine, he can deal with it. But didn't he get pretty heavy injuries? Is he all right going around like this? Lucas stands tall and said, he already knows, sir, he is a guy whose main strength is being pretty tough. Nerd said, yeah. Since he is Mevis or Grade Knight, Lucas read pages and said, His Highness, this entire time he has finished writing the Decades Manifest. There are many for who they couldn't even get their remains. The remains they could recover have been recovered. Nerd asked, where did he gather all the collected remains? He replied, the North Plains of the forward base, sir. He said, he will go see them. Nerd stands up and Lily said, he can't, His Highness, he need to recover more. He thinks. They said he healed the injured. Was he going around using healing magic while he was unable to see? He was pushed around a lot this time too, Nerd said to Damien. The strategy this time was successful thanks to him. If he wish, he will grant him enough to eat and live for the rest of his life, and make it so that he doesn't come to a battle like this again. Since he has the identity of a mercenary, he is free to do as wish in the future. Damien remained silent for a moment and said, His Highness. Back then he told him that he was His Highness Trigger. He wants to know the origin of those monsters, who, where, why have made those monsters, and why Ban had to die, so please let him follow the path behind him. His Highness. Lucas and Nerd smiles. Nerd replies, all right, then follow him from now on. To pay respects to dead they need a priest. They all standing in front of blue flame. Nerd thinks he know there wasn't anything such as better way. There was anything such as a better strategy. There's nothing more foolish than asking about what-if scenarios of the past. He has chosen a tactic and executed it. And this is the result. Then he has to deal with it. He has to bear it on his shoulders to go forward, Nerd said, as the informal funeral finishes. Recover all the remains and transfer them to Crossroad. Every year there are thousands of casualties. It was a world where funerals were more expensive than lives. There's an empty field in the west part of the Crossroad. Bury them there and pay them respects. He is planning to build a cemetery at Western Field where he built the memorial facility in the game too, he said. And every year on the last day of February will be designated as the day to honor their sacrifice. Lucas bowed down his head and said, "He shall follow His Highness' orders." It wasn't just them. In the hundreds of times he has said as he played this game for all the characters, that he has killed without any remorse. It was his atonement as well, he said. Lucas, he will not fail twice. He grind his teeth in anger, and Lucas looked toward him. Nerd said, "Let's go back to their headquarters. Crossroad. System window notified. Stage 0 is cleared. Clear rewards has been granted. Please check his inventory." It's been 3 days since they left the tutorial area and started heading north towards the main campus. Locket around Nerd neck is shining brightly. Nerd, making annoyed face, said he is so bored he could die. He shouts from inside of carriage that Lucas, "Are they there yet?" Lucas, terrified, and said, "They will arrive soon. His Highness, please wait a bit more." Nerd yawn. He thinks, is he a food delivery service? His response is the same. On the other hand, he need to make a decision soon. Once he cleared the tutorial, he became a level 5. In this game, he can choose an occupation at level 5. He saw his status window and said, "Wow, how could his stats go up like this? What a terrible character." One thing that's interesting, in contrary to his stats that rose miscellaneously, he could select any occupation in the game. The problem was at the bottom of the list. He saw on status window beginner commander, he said, here, an occupation class that he has never seen before. A beginner commander. He thinks, what is this occupation? An achievement prize for Hell Sage mode. Is this one of those hidden classes? He remains silent and thinks, the skill he unlocked was called Indomitable Commander. Isn't this blatantly telling him to take the commander route? The Indomitable Commander? A skill unlocked by the persistent mind that doesn't give up in any situation. It provides all comrades within a 10-meter radius with mental immunity from insanity. He thinks it's a good skill, but it's hella useless in the beginning. Insanity magic doesn't come out until late in the game. It's also risky to choose an occupation that he have no information on. Someone shouts, "Ah, this is a pain in the neck." His Highness, they see the Crossroad. Nerd becomes vigilant, Nerd said, finally. His eyes whiten in shock to see the castle in front of him. This is Crossroad, the name of the fortress that's at the south end of the world. This fortress was built to stop the monsters that emerged endlessly from the southern Black Lake. There was a time when it was the most significant fort of the entire empire, but as fewer monsters emerged, military troops were relocated to other areas, and their spots were replaced by mercenaries, people who lose the battle in society, old soldiers waiting for retirement or inexperienced rookies. Mercenaries were hired regardless of their nationality or skill. The Empire only needed something to keep the front lines. They just wanted a meat shield. As cheaper lives came, things like restaurants, inns, and banks sprouted up in the fortress. A few decades passed, and the fortress became an irregular formed city. At a certain point, the people stopped calling Crossroad a fortress and instead started calling it this. This is Monster Battlefront Fortress City. Mocking the mercenaries blinded by money and jumping to their own deaths. It had another name, the Suicide Street. The City of Graves, they say. This place is humanity's Maginot Line, Crossroad. He thinks he couldn't tell when he was looking at this place from the game screen. It's bigger than he expected. And it's more worn down than he thought anyway. Is this the city he will be in charge of? Their carriages move toward castle, and city people standing there for them. Lucas look people silently, while Nerd also look out from his window. He thinks, why is the atmosphere so bad? Well, their newly appointed lord and commander, just killed all their militiamen and barely returned alive. However, he prepared something knowing this would happen. Peoples look toward the carriage with red shining gems. They murmur that are those all magic gems. He stowed them in his cart for them to see, over 400 black spider magic gems. They were high-level monsters, so these are high-quality magic gems. Even with a rough estimation, they are insanely expensive. They are enough to put away monetary concerns for a while. He thinks that's right. If he beat an unbeatable stage, he should receive at least this much as a reward. In order to run this game smoothly, he need to work well with the town folk too. Right now, the residents' trust in him is below zero. But he know how he can make them like him, prepare themselves in a very reasonable and clear manner. He will buy their hearts over. Carriage stops. Lucas opened the door for Nerd and said, "They have arrived, His Highness." He step out and praise Lucas for his good work. He arrived at Crossroad, Lord's Manor. He was shocked and thinks this is where he live. His mouth opens and he thinks this is incomparable to the house he lived in. Who knew he did get his dream house like this? Someone shouts for Nerd. He run toward him and said, he is so happy that he is well, his lord. Nerd remember him, he about to say something, but boy cut off and said, no, he can't call his lord. Please forgive him. Nerd replies, he can call him his lord. He grabs his hand and said, he was so worried that he may have gotten hurt. This poor servant was worried sick. This fake servant like guy's name is Ader. In the game he's an NPC that manages the city and take care of Crossroads administrative tasks, things like facility building, system maintenance. It's probably the same here. He will complete this city's tasks with this guy. Gate opens and Ader welcome him home. He prepared a warm bath and dinner. Rest well today. Nerd was stunned to see his palace, while Ader was confused to see him like that. Nerd said, have all the soldiers rest? Lucas replies, yes, His Highness. He said to Lucas, don't do anything else today and rest too. Lucas argued, but Nerd stops him by his hand, said, stop, rest now and do it tomorrow. Lucas becomes sad sigh and said, he understands His Highness. Nerd start to climb stairs while Lucas was going in disappointment. Nerd smiles and said, looks like Lucas' room is on the first floor. Ader turn on warm water tap to fill bathtub, he said. Once he rest in warm water, the travel, exhaustion, and the scent of blood from battle, everything will all wash away. He thinks how long has been he has taken a bath. He was indeed exhausted from travel, so he was going to rest completely today. He thanks Ader and said to rest also. He start to unbutton his shirt. Ader smiles like evil and said, by the way, he is really incredible retrotaku. This produces chills in his spine.